Chapter 1. Episode 6. Tomato penne with long eggplant and tuna. Phew, I think that's enough for today.
Okay.
When we finished harvesting, the containers in front of us were full of long eggplants.
It's amazing to see so many eggplants lined up.
Ah, I've grown nice shiny eggplants. Harvesting is troublesome when there are so many, but seeing so many eggplants lined up is satisfying. But the progress is much faster when I have help. Although c1e is a novice farmer, she is physically and mentally strong because she used to work with knights in another world. She worked long hours without complaining and did more than I expected. Although I didn't hesitate when hiring and letting someone from another world with no common sense live in my home, her hard work alone was worth it.
What are you going to do with these eggplants?
The eggplants are going to be sorted and arranged. After that, we'll pack them in bags and take them to the direct sale station. The delivery company will take them to the market and then sell them at the local supermarkets.
I see.
I tried to explain the delivery arrangements, but it must be difficult for c1e to imagine. She still doesn't know much about this world. We still have some work to do, but we'll have lunch first.
I see.
She must have been hungry. When I stopped work and told her we would have lunch, c1e looked happy. The harvested eggplants were wrapped in freshness-preserving bags and set aside. As we did so, I took the ones that were misshapen or slightly damaged for lunch. They can't be sold, but they are not inedible, so it is perfectly fine for me to eat them. As soon as we got home, c1e asked me excitedly,
What are we going to have for lunch?
"We've harvested a lot. I'm going to make a dish with long eggplants."
Oh, I can't wait to eat them.
However, we had deep-fried eggplant simmered in soy sauce yesterday. It would be boring to cook the same thing. What shall I cook? I checked the refrigerator to see what ingredients were left. There were few ingredients left. I checked the cupboard and found pasta and canned tuna. Okay, lunch is tomato penne with long eggplant and tuna. It's a simple recipe that uses leftover ingredients and is easy to make. Let's go with this.
Is there anything I can help you with?
You've been saying that since yesterday.
I don't like to wait around by myself. Let me help you.
Then, after you cut off the stems of the eggplants, peel them with a peeler.
Huh? Peeler?
When I handed her the peeler, c1e looked puzzled. Apparently, this tool does not exist in c1e's world. Hold the blade like this and pull downwards to peel off the skin.
Oh, that's very convenient.
After I demonstrated how to do it, c1e seemed to understand the principle, and soon she could peel the skin by herself. Meanwhile, I removed the tuna from the can and prepared a frying pan on the stove.
I thought about it yesterday, but Jean Dono is a good cook even though you are a man.
Well, I've been living alone for a long time. In c1e's world, men don't cook?
Of course, there are men who can cook, but most of the time it is left to the women. There is a belief that men don't belong in the kitchen unless they are cooks.
It's like the early Showa era way of thinking. If you speak such words nowadays, you will be scolded for sure.
Jean Dono, what should I do with the peeled eggplant?
Oh, I want you to diagonally cut them into big slices.
Diagonal slices?
Isn't this way of cutting exist in another world? No, it must exist there. The name may be different. It's a relatively easy way of cutting. Cutting diagonally means cutting the food diagonally like this.
Oh, that's how to cut it.
When I showed her how to use the knife, c1e nodded. Then I handed her the knife, and she held it tightly. Wait a minute.
What?
Why are you holding that knife like that? It's not safe to hold it like that.
I'm sorry. How should I hold it?
Hearing c1e6's question, I realized I had overlooked a certain possibility. Have you never cooked before?
I am ashamed to tell you that I come from a family of knights and have been practicing swordsmanship and horseback riding since childhood. I have no such experiences in cooking at all.
You should tell me that earlier. No wonder her behavior in the kitchen and how she held the knife was weird.
I'm sorry. If I told you I had no experience, you would kick me out of the kitchen. I just wanted to try cooking for once.
c1e looked like a scolded child. If you are a guest, I would do that, but you will stay here for a while. I'll teach you everything you need to know, but you must tell me what you don't know and can't do.
Thank you, Giordano. I will do so from now on.
When I said this, c1e smiled. At first, I taught c1e how to hold the knife and cut the ingredients. Then she began to slowly slice the ingredients diagonally in the right way. Her left hand was a bit awkward. Maybe I should buy her a ceramic knife next time. I put some olive oil in the frying pan when she finished cutting the eggplant. Then, I put the eggplant and the tuna into the frying pan. The shape is a little distorted. It's okay because it's sliced diagonally. Can you put some water in that pot over there?
Oh, sure. As I recall, if I lift this lever, the water will come out.
c1e did not know anything about tap water. But after seeing me use it a few times, she seemed to understand how to use it. She lifted the lever timidly and lowered it back at the right time.
I did it!
Well done. It's pathetic to be praised for that. Still, I must credit her for successfully mastering something she'd never touched before. I feel as if I am adopting a dog. Next, I need you to turn on the stove. I placed the pot of water on the stove and continued to teach her. Just like running water, she'll get used to this kind of thing if she uses it.
Let's see, it's a fire tool. As I recall, it's a knob here that you turn to the right. Am I right?
Yes. I nodded, and c1e turned the knob to the right. Then, the fire lit up at once.
It's lit up!
Good job. Now move the lever on top of the knob to the right.
Oh! The fire's getting stronger.
Remember, you can adjust the heat by moving that lever.
I didn't expect to be able to make water and fire with such a simple action. The tools in Giordano's world are really convenient.
c1e stares at the fire in amazement. As long as she has access to running water and a stove, leaving her alone in this house will be fine. As long as the ingredients are available, she can cook cup noodles or something else on her own. As I teach her how to use the water tap and stove, I add tomato sauce and stir-fry the eggplant and tuna until they begin to brown.
Oh, it smells so good already.
c1e was standing next to me, watching as I cooked. She had a happy expression on her face as she muttered to me.
The aroma of tomato sauce and tuna is so appetizing. I've been working hard since morning, and I'm hungry.
I added dried herbs and basil to the sauce and simmered it over low heat. While the sauce was simmering, I added penne and salad oil to boiling water. Once the penne was cooked, I mixed it into the sauce that had just finished simmering. I added a little salt to taste while adjusting the seasoning. After confirming everything was fine, I served the penne on a flat plate. All right, tomato penne with long eggplant and tuna.
Oh! Itadakimasu.
We clasped our hands together, then immediately picked up our forks and brought them to our mouths.
This is delicious. The eggplant is so juicy.
I told you so, didn't I? The sourness and flavor of the tomatoes spread in our mouths. Above all, the long slices of eggplant were very juicy. Even though there was no meat in the dish, it was just as satisfying as eating a large piece of meat. The tuna's slight seafood flavor and fatty meat were well blended into the tomato sauce and nicely mixed in with the penne. The unique taste of dried herbs and basil wipes off the flavor and fat in the end, creating a refreshing aftertaste. Delicious! It can be said that tasting fresh ingredients like this is a farmer's privilege.
Jean Dono's long eggplants are really delicious, c1e said as she munched on her penne, her big smile making it clear that she meant it.
That's how I make a living. Otherwise, what's the point? It is meaningless if it is something that anyone can make. It is valuable because it has a taste people are willing to pay for. That is what farming is all about. But I certainly felt happy as a farmer when I heard that. Even if my vegetables are lined up at the market or supermarket, I never receive direct customer feedback. It makes me happy to have people eat them right before me and tell me how delicious they are.
Thank you for the food.
When I was deeply moved by her words, I noticed her plate was already empty. You finished eating so fast.
Jin's cooking is delicious.
Her portion has been quite generous, but she finished it quickly. It seems our Lady Knight is also quite the foodie. Chapter 1. Episode 7. Long Eggplant Delivery. After finishing lunch, we begin sorting and preparing the long eggplants. The containers with the eggplants need to be moved. This is also hard work. One container weighs more than 10 kilograms. Carrying many containers with the body exhausted from the harvesting work is tough. Jean Dono, should I carry these? Yes, we'll be working on the table over there. They are quite heavy, so don't force yourself too hard. I tried to warn her, but c1e piled up 6 containers and lifted them all. Ha! c1e is slimmer than me, yet she lifted the containers so easily. I couldn't help but be stunned. Each container weighs about 10 kilograms, so the total weight is approximately 60 kilograms. An untrained person can't lift those containers. What's wrong, Jean Dono? No, each of those containers weighs over 10 kilograms. How can you carry that much? I am a knight. It's not too heavy for a knight. Still, this is quite heavy, so I'm using magic to strengthen my body. Magic. I'm reinforcing my muscles with magic. Using it, you can demonstrate amazing physical abilities such as running fast and jumping high. So that must have been why she could run as fast as a car when she left my house on her first day. I understood after hearing c1e's words, but something bothered me more than that. In the first place, can you use magic in this world? Yes, the magic in the air is thinner than in my world, but it's sufficient to use. I used to think that magic and supernatural powers were just fantasy. Still, it seems that they do exist in modern Japan. So, does that mean I can use it too? I think it's impossible. When I asked with some expectation, c1e shook her head. Why? People in this world, including you, can't feel magic power in the first place. Perhaps they don't have magical organs that can sense and control magic power. Even if magic power exists, you can't use it without a magic power organ. Even if the energy exists, it is useless if you cannot use it. It seems that for Earthlings, magic power is useless. Even if Jean Dono has a magic power organ in your body, it would be difficult for you to master it at your age. Magic training takes a long time, starting at an early age. That's right. c1e said she spent so much time practicing swords and magic that she never had time to cook for herself. It would be difficult to master such specialized skills without any background. Even if I managed to learn it, I would become too old. I see. I thought using magic for growing vegetables would be useful. Your first thought about using magic is for farming. That's typical of you, Gindano, isn't it? c1e laughed when she heard my mutterings. Well, I can't think of any other way to use it. Hey, can't we use magic to grow vegetables? Maybe we can use magic power to boost vegetable growth. If I could do that, I would have offered it to you already. Unfortunately, magic is not as convenient as you think, Gindano. Apparently, such convenient magic doesn't exist. If it did, the fun of farming would be halved, so it's okay. But it would be great if we could control the growth rate with magic power. If we could do that, we wouldn't have to be pressured to harvest in such a short time. With a farmer's wine in my heart, I brought the container to the workbench. Usually, it would have taken me several round trips, but thanks to c1e, it only took 2. This would make the loading work easier. What does the sorting process mean? We wipe off the dirt and sort them by size. While doing this, we check the long eggplants to see if any are damaged or misshapen. What do I do with the damaged or misshapen ones? We can sell the ones that are misshapen at a slightly lower price, but we can't do anything about the ones that are badly damaged. We must remove the damaged parts, eat them at home, or throw them away. This long eggplant is no good. Is that much damage enough to make it unsaleable? It's pretty bad from my point of view, but I guess it's acceptable from c1e's point of view. We have to deliver good, safe food to our customers. We can't give them something that might threaten their safety. I see. The safety of our customers comes first. You are very strict, Gindano. c1e looks at me with respect. Instead of my standard, it's the farmers' union standard. But let's leave it that way because it would take longer to explain it. After showing c1e how to sort, we start to sort the long eggplants. As we pick up the eggplant and wipe off the dirt with a cloth, we check all of them. After removing the dirt, the eggplant shines more beautifully. The cleaned eggplants are so beautiful. They look like jewels. Gindano looks so peaceful. As I work silently, c1e looks at me as if she has seen something unusual. I wonder if my face looks that peaceful now. I find it calming when polishing my harvests. Well, I agree with you about that. It's nice to work without thinking about anything. Hey, think about sorting. That's not the right size container. Sorry. When I point this out, c1e hurriedly corrects her sorting mistake. I can rely on her to do the heavy work, but I can't take my eyes off her when she's doing this kind of detailed work. However, she works hard enough for a novice farmer, so I must forgive her for making a few mistakes. After the long eggplants are sorted, the next step is to pack them in bags. c1e, please put a sticker on the bags. Sticker? I demonstrated the sticking process to c1e, who knew nothing about stickers. It was a simple matter of peeling it off with fingers and sticking it on the bag, so she quickly learned it. Is this okay? Yeah, that's good. Stretch it out. It's kind of fun. c1e looks like she's having fun sticking the stickers. It's as if a child is discovering the joy of stickers for the first time. While watching c1e's excitement from her side, I fill the bags with eggplants. There are no more stickers. We're done putting the stickers. Help me to pack them. Okay. The stickering process stops, and c1e helps me with the packing. Is it 500 grams? It's about 50 grams short. Ha, then try another eggplant. Gindano, you haven't weighed anything in a while. Have you reached the stipulated weight? I laugh as I say that, and c1e gives me a skeptical look. Don't underestimate an experienced person. When you're as experienced as me, you can tell the approximate weight by holding it in your hand. Then show me how you weigh it. When I put the bagged items on the scale, as c1e asked, the weight was exactly as required. The weight is correct. As expected of an experienced person. Of course. I can't tell her I was nervous when I saw the numbers were too precise. I would have been embarrassed if it had been a few grams lower. It was so close. After the bags are packed, I insert them into the sealing machine. Once I hear a clanking sound, the bagged eggplants are neatly sealed. Jean Dono. What is that? It's a packaging tool called a bag sealer. You want to try it? Yes. When I asked Serum, her eyes sparkled, and she nodded with a smile. She is very curious. Twist the tip of the bag to make it thinner and then insert it into the gap here. Like this? Serum pushed the tip of the bag into the bag sealer, there was a clanking sound, and the bag tip was sealed. Oh, whoa! Jean Dono, this is also fun. If you like it, go ahead and do it. For Serum, the tools in this world are unusual, so the packaging work seems fun to her. I leave the bagging to Serum and put the finished products into the cardboard boxes. As we proceeded this way, the work was over in no time. Can you put these boxes on my light truck? Oh, on a white iron wagon. Okay. When I asked her to do so, Serum carried the cardboard boxes again. Meanwhile, I put away my tools, put a sheet over the boxes on the back of the light truck, and tied them tightly with a rope so they wouldn't fall off during transport. All that was left was to deliver them. Shall I go with you? As I enter the light truck, Serum approaches the driver's seat and asks. That being said, there was nothing Serum could help me with from this point forward. Serum worked harder than I had expected. I feel bad if I make her go out with me until late for nothing. No, I can handle it alone from now on. Go home and rest. Really? Could it be that you are lonely being alone at home? No, of course not. I am not a child. Then you can go. When I teased her, Serum walked back to the house. She still acts like a child when she gets upset like that. Still, I am worried about leaving her alone for a long time. So I decided to come home early. With this in mind, I started to drive my light truck. Chapter 1. Episode 8. Serum is my wife? Jean Dono, I'm going for a short walk. Alone? Yes, I'm not familiar with the surrounding area. I want to familiarize myself with the area as soon as possible. I am worried about Serum walking alone, but this is the countryside, not a big city like Tokyo. She wouldn't get lost walking alone. Just be back before work. Okay. Then I'll be back soon. After receiving my permission, Serum walked out with her sword at her waist. Does she always carry her sword, even when she's just walking? Serum, the knight from another world, wakes up early. She wakes up very early, even earlier than me as a farmer. Well, that's why she goes to bed as early as a child. I slowly eat my breakfast alone. After finishing my meal, I wash the dishes, read the morning newspaper, and turn on the TV to check the weather forecast. This is how I lazily spend my time until it's time for work, but Serum, who went for a walk, has not returned. How far is that girl going for a walk? I already told her to come back before work. I had taught Serum about clocks and time in this world, though I hadn't given her a watch. She proudly declared that she could tell the time roughly. I wondered if she had gotten lost. It can't be helped. I'll have to look for her. I got worried and decided to look for her. Jean-chan. A voice called out as I was about to get on my light truck in the back of the house. I turn around and see a gentle-looking old lady standing in front of the house. Good morning, Minori-san. Good morning, Jean-chan. This old lady is Minori Sakiya. She is a farmer who lives next door to me. Although she lives next door, it's about 100 meters away. This place is in the countryside, after all. She gets mad if I don't call her by her name, by the way. I'm old enough, so why don't you stop calling me Jin-chan?
No matter how old you are, Jin-chan will still be Jin-chan.
Is that so?
Minori-san says with a smile on her face. Minori-san has known me since I was a baby, and she doesn't intend to change how she calls me. Getting her to correct the way she calls me still seems difficult.
More importantly, what can I do for you? Jin-chan's wife, Serum-chan.
She's helping me at my house, so I came to tell you that. Oh, she's helping out at Minori-san's place.
No wonder she hasn't been coming home. Huh, my wife? I think I just heard a word I couldn't ignore.
When I questioned her with a serious face, Misato-san grinned.
Jin-chan can't be underestimated. When did you get such a beautiful wife? No, Serum is not my wife. Serum is a live-in employee at my house. She is not my wife. You don't have to hide it. Serum-chan said so, too.
I thought that Misato-san was misunderstanding things, but it seems that Serum said so.
What the hell is going on? I don't understand. Can I go check on her?
Yes, of course. I decided to go with Minori-san to see the situation. After walking about 100 meters down the street, we arrived at a bigger and older house than mine.
Serum is on the roof of the house, tapping on the tiles with a rubber hammer. Hey! Oh, Jean Dano. I'm sorry. I'm repairing the roof of Minori Dano's house.
I was going to ask Jin-chan to help me, but Serum-chan said she would help me, so I left it to her.
I see.
I understand why Serum ended up helping out here. Serum is a knight with a strong sense of justice.
I guess she couldn't leave elderly people in trouble alone. It is certainly difficult work for Sakiya and his wife, who are an elderly couple.
The Sakiya's house has old-style tile roofing, using clay tiles placed on top without nails. That is why the tiles sometimes shift and fall off over time. But seriously, how are you able to repair tile roofs? The way Serum shifted the roof tiles with a rubber hammer was quite impressive. I don't think Serum's world has the same tiled roofs as the Japanese houses.
Because Shigeru Dano taught me how to do it.
Well, I was surprised that someone so young and beautiful could be skillful.
Shigeru-san, Minori-san's husband, is laughing happily under the roof. I was also trained as a military engineer. I'm good at this kind of work.
Serum says proudly while puffing out her chest.
It seems that the female knight who has experienced real battles is also skilled in civil engineering work. She has unnecessarily high specs. Military engineer? No, it was nothing.
Seeing Minori-san and Shigeru-san tilting their heads together, Serum rushes back to work. I'm the only one who knows that Serum is from another world, so I understand they didn't get it.
I climb up the ladder and approach Serum. Hey, Serum. Minori-san told me you're my wife, so what does that mean?
The moment I asked her directly, Serum hit the roof tile hard. Perhaps because she was flustered, she hit it too hard, and I felt the tile shift immediately.
I wonder if she's okay? Oh, about that, it just sort of happens. How in the world did you end up as my wife? I had a hard time explaining my relationship with Jean Dano.
Minori-san asked me if I was your wife, and I ended up nodding my head. But even if you had difficulty explaining it, you can't just become my wife.
Then how should I have answered? Minori Dano and Shigeru Dano have known Jean Dano since you were a child, right? I can't make up stories on my own. Ugh, if you put it that way.
She was a knight from another world, and since she had nowhere else to go, she came to live and work at my place. There was no way she could reveal that to anyone. Even if she did, I doubt they would believe her.
Without knowledge of my past and social circle, she couldn't make up any excuse for her presence here.
No wonder she ended up nodding her head when Minori-san questioned her.
Even if I told them you're my employee now, they probably wouldn't believe me. It's clear from how the Sakia couple grins at us that they are amused.
They completely know my family background, and I can't claim her as a distant relative.
Jean Dano, do you hate it so much that people think I'm your wife? No, it's not about whether I like it or not. More importantly, how do you feel about it? People are going to think you're my wife. I understand it is better not to let people know I am from another world. But I can't think of a good excuse for living in Jean Dano's house. Well, that's also true. I think that if people know that I'm Jean Dano's wife, they will accept me and not make trouble for Jean Dano. When she puts it that way, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. Rural areas are sensitive to newcomers from the outside, for better or worse. It would be easier for the locals to accept a newcomer by simply telling her she is my wife rather than making a lame excuse and having people think of her as a suspicious foreigner. I see. Apparently, c1e didn't make such a claim without thinking it through.
Although my big concern was whether or not c1e would be uncomfortable with being treated as my wife, it seemed that she had no problem with it. However, being Jean Dano's wife is just a cover. No physical relationship of any kind. Of course not. No one is going to touch you. No problem then. I will trust your reason and conscience. Using the story of c1e being my wife was just a way to blend in. Still, it would be immoral to take advantage of it and force her into a relationship with me.
It's not something a man should do. Seemingly understanding my thoughts, c1e resumed working without saying anything more. Okay, it should be fine.
After fixing the tiles with plaster to prevent them from slipping down, the temporary fix for the roof tiles was complete.
Shigeru Dano, it's done. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. But this is just a temporary fix, right? It would be better to have it repaired by a professional. I'll think about it.
Shigeru-san smiles and replies casually.
He probably thinks he can ask us to do it again next time. He has said this every year but never called in a professional contractor. I've prepared cold green tea and snacks for you too. As we put away the tools, Minori-san arrived on the terrace with a tray, perhaps to thank us for the repair work. Feeling thirsty, I didn't hesitate to accept the drink she offered. After thoroughly washing my hands, I sat on the terrace with c1e. What kind of food is this? This is yokan.
It is made by grinding azuki beans, adding sugar and agar, steaming and hardening.
I see. After hearing Shigeru's explanation, c1e nodded in admiration. Maybe she doesn't understand it because she doesn't know about azuki beans. Then, itadakimasu.
Please help yourself.
She cut a small piece of yokan using a spoon and brought it to her mouth.
The sweetness of the azuki beans came in all at once.
This is delicious. Because it's from pretty good beans. When I express my surprise, Minori-san replies as she laughs. No wonder it tastes so good.
I thought yokan would be softer, like jelly, and have a lighter flavor, but the taste was more profound than I had imagined.
Soft yokan is not bad, but I prefer it to be as firm as this. I took a bite and drank a cup of cold green tea, which eased the sweetness. The yokan's sweetness and the green tea's coolness seemed to soothe my sweaty body after a hard day's work. While I was eating the yokan, I noticed that c1e was quiet. When I looked at her, I saw that her expression was relaxed. Jean Dano. What? This yokan is very delicious. Oh, really? The sweets I used to eat in my hometown were made with a lot of sugar, and one bite was enough to satisfy me. However, I can eat as much as I want of this yokan with its exquisite sweetness and flavor. It's not so much the yokan but the sweet taste of the world here. Come to think of it, I remember that the sweets here used to be made of hardened sugar. If you're used to eating sweets that satisfy you after just one bite, you may think the sweets here are the best. Ara, I am very happy when you like it so much. Would you like another one? Is that okay, Minori Dano? I have some mizumanju. Would you like some? I don't know what that is, but I want to try it.
Minori-san and Shigeru-san bring Japanese sweets one after another. Serum's pure reaction is amusing, so it feels like they're spoiling baiting her. By the way, Jin-chan found a good wife too.
That's true. I can't believe she's so honest and nice, not like most of the young people these days.
Minori-san and Shigeru-san's words almost made me spurt out my green tea. Although it was just a cover story explaining why we live together, I was surprised when they said I found a good wife. From now on, I must behave that way so that Serum can fit in here.
Yeah, well. She's too good a wife for me.
Serum, who was eating yokan, blushed when I said this.
Hey, don't be embarrassed.
You were the one who said it's the most natural cover story.
Where did you find such a pretty girl? Come on, tell us the story.
Seeing such an honest reaction from Serum, Shigeru-san, and Minori-san asked me about it. Looking at their expressions, it is obvious that they are enjoying this. If I made Serum my wife, she could fit in here while hiding that she is from another world. But when I think about how people around me continue to treat me like this, I can't help but regret that we couldn't come up with a better idea.
Chapter 1. Episode 9. Could it be no bra? Okay, that's about it for this morning. Let's continue later in the evening. Don't you work during the day?
When we returned home after finishing the morning's work, Serum tilted her head and asked.
It's too dangerous to work during the day when it's this hot. Even in the countryside, the summertime afternoon temperature soars to terrifying levels.
Working in the evening or early morning is safer and more productive than working under the hot sun. Of course, if you are short on time, your only option is to work outside under the sweltering heat. Thanks to Serum's help, the work is progressing smoothly, so we can take it easy until the evening when the temperature drops.
Is that so?
After saying that, Serum's face relaxed slightly, and she wiped her sweat with a towel. I also wiped my sweat with a towel and got barley tea from the fridge.
When I turned around, I saw Serum in the living room. That wasn't me. Seems so.
Serum was also taken aback by the sudden sound of the door opening, indicating that someone else had come in. As I wondered who it could be, I walked towards the front door and saw a man with black hair that was half-dyed gold standing there. He had earrings in his ears and was dressed in a stylish cut-off shirt, shorts, and sandals, a typical summer outfit.
The man's stern face changes to a friendly expression when he sees me. Yo, Gene. Oh, Kaito.
This man dressed like a country bumpkin is Kaito Uba, a friend I have known since childhood. He is a so-called childhood friend. We didn't interact when I was working in Tokyo, but since I came back here, we have often hung out.
So, what brings you here? I came to see the rumored foreign wife. She's really beautiful, isn't she? When I ask him what he wants, Kaito says excitedly. How the hell do you know about that?
I heard it from Minori-san.
It was only yesterday, you know.
Information spreads fast in the countryside, but it's too fast. Gene, a bachelor all his life, suddenly got a wife, a beautiful foreigner with blonde hair. Of course, people would find that interesting and spread the word. From that statement, this guy must have been one of those who took the initiative to spread it.
Gene Dano, is he a guest?
When I was making up my mind to beat up Kaito in my mind, Serum, who was in the living room, came out.
Yeah, this is my friend Kaito Uba. Oh, are you Gene Dano's friend? Nice to meet you. My name is Seraphim. It's a long name, so feel free to call me Serum. Kaito was stunned when Serum introduced herself to him. Kaito Dano? Serum was puzzled when he didn't reply back. For about 10 seconds, Kaito was frozen, then he pointed his finger at Serum. This person is Jin's wife? Well, yes. I feel embarrassed when I hear that again, but that's the cover story, so I can't deny it.
I didn't expect her to be such a beautiful wife.
What the hell? How could this happen? I'm so jealous. Where on earth did you find a girl like this? I found her in the rice field. Ha? You've got to be kidding me. If I can harvest such a pretty girl, I'll gladly do farming too. I was just stating a fact, but Kaito thought I was joking and got angry. As a single man like me, Kaito must have felt betrayed. I'm sorry. Damn, you always make fun of me. Why are you being nice to me now? Don't say such kind of pitying words to me. You're making me feel more miserable. If c1e is my wife, I would have mocked Kaito, but it is just a cover story, and she is not my wife. Kaito seemed to misunderstand my response because he thought I felt guilty about it. Hey, Onii. It's troublesome when you leave me in charge of the store. When I was thinking about how to calm down Kaito, another person came in through the open door. Jin Dano, who is this person? She's Keiho, Kaito's younger sister. The girl with light brown hair, slightly curled at the ends, and a fashionable appearance for the countryside, is Kaito's sister, Keiho Oba. She seemed to have come to bring back her brother, who skipped work to visit me. I'm sorry, my brother disturbed you. Whoa, is this Jin-san's wife? She's so beautiful. Keiho was surprised when she saw c1e. From her reaction, Keiho also heard about Seraphim and was curious to know what kind of person she was. My name is Seraphim. Please call me c1e. I am Keiho, Kaito's younger sister. Nice to meet you. Despite the chaotic situation, the meeting with Keiho appeared to end peacefully. Hey, Onii. Hurry up and get back to the store. No, I have a mission to deepen my relationship with c1e-san. You inherited the store, right? Then do it responsibly. Come on, go back. Damn it. Jin, I'll be back. Kaito was kicked out of the front door by Keiho. He shouted a few words and left. What does she mean by the store? He runs a small-time candy store. Candy? Does that mean he makes a lot of things like yesterday's Yokan and Mizumanju? Not exactly, but they definitely sell a lot of candy. That's amazing. c1e is really addicted to sweets, and her eyes are sparkling. In her mind's eye, she must be imagining a store with only Japanese sweets on display. Hey, Jin-san. Come here for a minute. What's up? Keiho called me over with a rather serious expression, and I approached her. Seeing how she doesn't talk openly, I guess it's a topic she doesn't want c1e to hear it. Perhaps she suspects it's some kind of marriage scam because c1e is so beautiful? If that's the case, I must clear up the misunderstanding. c1e-san, is she not wearing any underwear? I shuddered at Keiho's unexpected question. c1e had just finished working in the fields and wore my old jersey. The soft curves of her chest were visible, and it seemed she wasn't wearing a bra. I suppose not. As soon as I confirmed I was aware, Keiho's gaze turned cold. You noticed it and left it alone? Do you enjoy that kind of play? No, of course not. She couldn't bring them for some complicated reason. She knew she needed to buy them immediately but couldn't tell me. She's not used to Japan, and I can't let her go shopping alone. I was about to be wrongly accused and desperately tried to make an excuse. I didn't want to be treated like a pervert who forced his wife to go without a bra. I didn't leave it like that with any malicious intent. If that's the case, why don't you just go with her? Well, it might be a little embarrassing to accompany her to buy underwear. Jin-san is not good at this kind of thing. As the younger sister of my childhood friend, Kaito, I've known her for a long time. It seems she understands that I'm not a pervert who would force my wife to not wear a bra. I'm really glad. I understand. Then, I'll go shopping with c1e-san. Really? That would be very helpful. In return, I have some clothes I want too. Keiho tilts her face and looks up at me, knowing which angle makes her look cute. She's really cunning.
She's going shopping with serum, which I guess is acceptable.
Please don't buy anything too expensive, okay? Yay! I know. I'll buy some decent and affordable things. I doubt you have any decency when you rob me like this. Chapter 1. Episode 10. Female Night and Shopping Mall.
Once the deal was made, Keiho went back to her house to get her own car.
I only have a light truck at my house. This one is for 2 people, so it's not suitable for 3 people to go on a long trip. The Oba family's car can accommodate 6 people. It is better to use their car for a long trip. Serum, we're going shopping now.
I explained to Serum, who doesn't understand what we will do. I apologize for telling her to relax, but it's urgent to get new clothes for her.
That's fine, but what are we going to buy? We're going to buy clothes for you. Isn't it troublesome that you only have men's clothes? I don't mind. Jean Dano's clothes are of very good quality.
Serum replies as she touches her jersey. She seems to be the type of person who doesn't care much about clothes, perhaps she doesn't mind wearing them.
But if she always wears men's clothes, what will the people around her think of her? Even if Serum doesn't mind, I'll be in trouble.
Besides, I also want to buy some necessities, so it's decided that we'll go shopping.
I understand.
When I told her it was decided, Serum nodded in agreement. After taking a quick shower to wash off the sweat, I moved to my bedroom and changed from work clothes to casual clothes. When I returned to the living room, Serum looked startled.
What's wrong?
I'm surprised, because it's my first time seeing Jean Dano's going out clothes.
Oh, because I usually only wear work or loose-fitting clothes. My current outfit is a navy top, chinos, and sandals. It's an easy summer outfit.
If I were to call this outfit fashionable, stylish people would scold me. After Serum had showered and wore her jersey, we heard a car horn from outside.
It seems that Keiho has brought her family's car. Here. Then, please drive. Hey. You were sitting in the driver's seat, so you should drive.
That's what I thought, but this time I decided to take the driver's role without complaining since I was the one who asked her to accompany Serum shopping.
It's quite different from Jean Dano's car, right? Because that is a transport vehicle not suited for carrying people. Serum sits in the back seat.
She seems nervous because the car differs from what she's used to.
Serum-san, it's dangerous if you don't keep your seatbelt on. Seatbelt? Look, you pull the belt here to secure it to the seat. It's bigger than I thought.
Once Serum had fastened her seatbelt, I couldn't help but notice how her rich breasts were emphasized without the support of a bra. Quickly averting my gaze, I gripped the steering wheel tightly to steady myself.
All right, let's get going.
The engine roars, and the car slowly moves. Serum had ridden in the back of my light truck before, but never in the passenger or back seat. I worried that she might react weirdly, but she didn't seem surprised. Thanks to the fact that she had ridden in the back of my light truck many times before. She is just gazing at the scenery outside as if it is unusual. When I operated the button on the driver's seat to open the window beside Serum, she looked surprised.
The wind feels good.
The wind blowing into the car from outside made Serum's golden hair flutter.
Such a scene looks like a beautiful painting or a scene from a movie. Driver, look ahead. I know.
Keiho scolded me for looking at Serum through the mirror, so I looked straight ahead. Even though it's a straight road with no people, I shouldn't let my guard down.
I have to drive safely. After less than an hour's drive from home, we arrived at our destination, a shopping mall.
If we want to buy some clothes, we don't need to go so far, but this time, we must buy many kinds of clothes for Serum.
If we want to buy many kinds of clothes, we have to come this far. It's a typical countryside thing.
Jean Dano, There are so many people and big buildings.
This is definitely a big city.
As soon as she exits the car, c1e screams with sparkling eyes.
That is the typical reaction of a kid from the countryside. It's embarrassing, as if I'm watching myself as a kid. No, it's just the outskirts. I mean, this place is also the countryside. Though we're closer to the city center. So many people, and you call it the countryside? How prosperous is this country? Hearing my explanation, c1e's face appears as if she's shivering.
I'm certain that the total population numbers are different from those in c1e's world, to begin with.
c1e-san's reaction is like she's visiting a shopping mall for the first time. Keiho's sharp comment causes my shoulders to tremble unconsciously. I guess the sight in Japan is unusual for her.
The place where she used to live was quite rural too.
I see.
I know there are many things you don't understand, but take good care of her.
I understand.
I was surprised that she nodded her head so obediently here. After all, Keiho is also very caring. After I spoke with Keiho, I whispered to c1e, who was still very excited. I know you're excited to be in a new place for the first time, but today she'll be there too.
Don't say anything weird, okay? Okay, I understand. I'll be careful. If c1e talks about the other world before Keiho, she will think c1e is weird.
I would like her to refrain from such behavior as much as possible. Walking into the mall from the parking lot, I saw a coffee shop on the left and a series of restaurants on the right. Since I had no business with either of them, I ignored them and continued walking.
Do you know on which floor the ladies' clothes are?
I tried to look at the display board, but Keiho quickly walked over and told me. She is indeed reliable, especially in times like this.
Following Keiho's advice, we headed to the third floor. We walked across the white floor and found an escalator, which we decided to take. Dano, what's that moving floor?
As we stood in line, c1e asked me in a low voice.
It's an escalator.
All you have to do is stand in the yellow frame, and it will take you up, I explained.
It's true. People are being carried one by one.
It's a strange sight, she remarked. Fortunately, there was a line, so she could observe the people before us. Thanks to that, c1e could ride the escalator naturally like Keiho and I did, and we reached the second floor without incident. c1e is very athletic, so she didn't stumble or fall on her way up.
So it goes like this. Yeah, how much easier it would have been to transport supplies if we had this. It seems there were various things to think about using the convenient tools of civilization.
There are big buildings like this in other worlds, and if I think there are stairs to move between floors, that's pretty hellish. She took the escalator again without question.